Buenas noches. Well, we were having a serious wind event not long ago, and that was the main reason I started recording. I hadn't posted yet today. I was going to today, but the sun let me down of all things. No, the sun didn't let me down. There were clouds in the way. All right, there's a difference. Now, see what I have there is a piece of, forget all the rocks, try and ignore the rocks, right? I'm starting to try to ignore the rocks now. We're looking at this, at that rock, because that's a person in the sweet spot, and here's the sun. Right? Now, what we have here, it doesn't matter that I'm using a flashlight here in the shed. It is exactly the same as the same result that we'll get from the sun out in the garden, okay? That is a fact, because the sun radiates absolute light. There is no delay. Now, my point here is, how is it possible? Let's cut to the chase, okay? Let's cut all the garbage out. How is it possible that if photons are taking 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go from the sun to the moon, or the stick in this case, all right? It really doesn't make any difference. 8 minutes and 20 seconds. It gets there, the stick or the moon casts a shadow, and this person is in the sweet spot. Bang! Right in the middle. Sees the sun being blocked by the stick or the moon. How is it possible that that person is in the shadow that is being cast of the moon shadow by photons that have been travelling for 8 minutes and 20 seconds? At the same time, that person around a stick or around the moon is seeing the sun's corona. How is it possible that the person is seeing the photons that have travelled for 8 minutes and 20 seconds at the very same time as that person is seeing the light source that radiated those photons 8 minutes and 20 seconds earlier? How is it possible that you're seeing the photons that have finally got here after 8 minutes and 20 seconds, but when he looks up at the light source that radiated those photons, it seems to be right there? Why is that happening? There is supposed to be a gap. There is supposed to be a delay of 8 minutes and 20 seconds. That means this can never happen. You can never get the light source, the moon or the stick, that is 150 million kilometers away from that light source, and then the shadow that is being created by the photons that light source radiated, and the sweet spot position that the person finds himself in. It simply cannot happen with finite light. You cannot see the photons, or the result of the photons that have been travelling for 8 minutes and 20 seconds, as well as seeing the source that radiated them 8 minutes and 20 seconds earlier. Where is the gap? Where is the 8 minute and 20 seconds gone? It's so stupid, right? That to continue with this charade, it's borderline insane. Oh, Facebook seemed to let me post again. It allowed me, where it says, what's on your mind? Usually, for the last couple of days, every time I click on it, just nothing. I can't post, I can't drop links, but they decide, I think every time I say something now, because it's anti-establishment, fuck you, Facebook, fucking silence me again. What, is it the lack of common sense that you guys have got, or are you just protecting the lies? I really don't give a shit. I've got enough people finding me elsewhere. You can keep your freaking digital creator crap. I really don't care if you boot me forever. Facebook. Again, how is it possible that photons have been travelling for 8 minutes and 20 seconds and they are hitting whatever, the stick or the moon, right? and casting a shadow, how is it possible that people are seeing those and the actual light source that radiated them 8 minutes and 20 seconds ago? What is that? It's ridiculous is what it is. It does not matter. When the shadow is cast by any light source, it will always be directly behind the object that is casting the shadow. Always. There is never, ever going to be a time where finite light is involved, where by the time the light reaches here, the actual light source has gone. It is so ridiculous that there are people who are starting to, it's been quite a long time, quite a few people are waking up to this, right? It's not difficult to work out. I can understand how confronting this is because people have been taught the lie. It's been pummeled into them. So it's like, what's going on? What's going on? Cognitive dissonance. Boo! Look, wherever the light source is, whatever casts the shadow, it will be directly. If this was the sun, it would be the same. There is no delay. It's directly behind the stick, always. Right? So, tomorrow I will take it again, because I have another beach day tomorrow, and we'll do it with the sun. Most of you probably already know what the result's going to be. The sun will be perfectly in line with the sweet spot. The shadow. Look, do we really have to do this? Do we really have to keep doing this, right? Stones everywhere. I've become a right stoner, haven't I? Look at that, stones everywhere I turn. There are stones. I am a stoner. I am a stoner. It's official, okay? Stones everywhere. The sun radiates absolute light. There is no delay, and it is obvious, right? It is so obvious, it hurts. That's going to be enough. Look, everything, every shadow that anybody ever sees, the light source will be directly behind whatever obstacle, whatever item, whatever object is casting the shadow. Always. There is never going to come a time when the shadow is being cast by a light source, and the light source, it's taken so long for the light to get to whatever it is that's going to cast a shadow that the light has shifted. No, the light will always be directly in line with whatever it is casting the shadow, and the shadow itself, and the person in the sweet spot shadow. It's a fact. It is a fact, okay? Look, I'm going to keep this one nice and short, okay? I feel like throwing people off of the bus. The reason for that is because I've been listening to this absolute garbage. Oh, no, sorry. That's not fair. I was listening to AI Atlas. Oh, God, poor kids. All right, peeps, I'm going to call it there. Fuck you, Facebook. Laters.